If you want to quit drinking and start creating, maybe give this channel a try. I don't know. That's for the folks on their smartphones. Apparently, you get a preview of the first few seconds of the video. If you're reaching the end of your rope in your relationship with alcohol, you might give this a try. This is a channel that is focused on home audio production, recording, mixing, mastering. Not professional mastering, but anyway. And alcohol cessation. I was alcoholic for over 3 decades. Pretty highly functional, but I was starting to stare down the proverbial barrel. The proverbial writing was on the proverbial wall, and it became quite apparent that I had to turn the corner, or I just wasn't going to be around for too much longer. That was getting on about 6 months ago, and here I am, still sleepless in the middle of the night in a place called Paju City, South Korea. I've lived in South Korea for a very long time, from the States. And so many people, when in the process of divorcing alcohol, sleep is a big problem. Insomnia, among other things. And what do you do when you're alone and sleepless? And it's just so easy to reach for that bottle. What do? There's prayer, there's meditation, there's all kinds of things. But here's one thing that you might consider doing. Download some free software and subscribe to this channel. Check out my playlist, Building a Song and Cakewalk. That's in the description. I'm about to start a new series, Building Another Song. And this is long format for sleepless nights. This is for people who need it. I'm not here to get a lot of subscribers. I'm not here to win any popularity contests, obviously. Check this out. Let me get myself out of the way here. This is my YouTube channel videos, and you can see that this is a follow-up to my nearly 3-hour-long video from the other night. I try to give these videos titles that are somewhat evocative titles, but accurate. But they're anything but clickbait, I guess. Balances of power. Balances of power. Yeah, that's something that might intrigue me, but that's me passing through. That's the name of this song that I've been working on, this mix. It's actually 2 mixes of the same song that I'm attempting to blend, because there are elements of both that I like, and I want to have my cake and eat it too, as we say. And as you can see, it says 2 days ago, and a whopping 9 views. I got some travel logs here. Tour through Korean countryside in search of audio samples. You can't read the end of it. And a shaman's lair. 5 days ago, 31 views. 1 day ago, Eunpyeong-gu, Seoul, Hanok Village, and Jingwansa Temple. 9 views. But for this one, look, I made a cringy thumbnail, which now that I look at it, it was meant to be cringy, but I guess it just looks like a typical YouTube thumbnail. To me, it's cringy. They're all cringy. It's not an aesthetic that I like. It's not a culture that I like at all. How effing loud, with, I got to take this selfie with, you got to do like a soy face of shock or chagrin or skepticism or, some exaggerated emotion or mental state. 178 views. Now that one's an hour and a half long, and I'm sure that the average watch time is probably down less than 5 minutes, but click-throughs, 178. Balances of power passing through. 3 hours of educational content. I mean, if you want to learn how to produce audio at home, and it doesn't matter how much talent you have musically, I mean, it does, but this is something you can get into even without having to pick up a musical instrument. You don't even need a microphone. As you can see, I've got 3 of them here in my bedroom studio. Right? There's one here, and the one that I'm speaking into at present, and then this one right here. I got 3 of them. You don't even need one to get into this, because you can start by, well, okay, so you get the free software. It's called Digital Audio Workstation, or DAW, or DAW software. And I recommend Cakewalk, one word, Cakewalk. Cakewalk is the name of it. Cakewalk by BandLab. Just go to the internet and type in Cakewalk download, and there it is. Cakewalk by BandLab. Download, install. Takes all of 3 minutes. And let me check my mic. Okay. And you're ready to go. Almost. There are some other tools that I recommend on my channel. Chief among them, this. So if you go to this site, airwindows.com, this guy right here is an absolute genius. He makes tools for mixing and mastering audio. And all of his plugins, they're called plugins or tools. They're all free. They're all open source. They're all available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And this is where you should start. He says right here, you just you download his consolidated plugin. Click on that, download it, hit the installer file. It installs it. You start up Cakewalk. Cakewalk finds it instantly, and you're ready to go. You have everything that you need to get started on hobby and activity that requires sobriety. You just can't do it drunk. You will lack the focus. You'll lack the presence of mind, the clarity that are required for this. You just can't possibly drink or do any other kind of drugs and engage in it in any meaningful way. So here's what Cakewalk looks like. Okay. I start up Cakewalk and right. So this is the project that I'm working on right now. The song is called Passing Through. And it's one of the first songs that I wrote. I've been at this music thing for, decades. And I came very close to going pro at one point. But I chose not to. By going pro, I mean I was offered a contract with Universal Music Group, and I turned it down. I did release one double-length album 18 years ago. It was that album that led to the offer from UMG. And I turned it down, and well, I got married and got on with life, and for many years I was just too beset with responsibilities, but I was also too drunk. I was just drinking, maintaining, and I put music aside for many years, and then I had to get sober, and so I reconstructed my studio here at home. Again, let me see here. Right, so this is my studio cam. My name is Matt. I'm the Alcoholic Audio Engineer. I use that word engineer tongue-in-cheek because I'm not a professional. But that's fine. I am an engineer. I'm just not a professional engineer, okay? But I could be, in the sense that I could see myself getting paid. Well, pardon me. As you can see, I have very little here. This is very, very austere setup here. So all you need to do to get started, again, is you need Cakewalk right up here. This is your digital audio workstation, your DAW. Which, if you've done something like Photoshop in the past, if you've ever taken on any kind of serious software learning curve, then Cakewalk is not going to present too many difficulties for you. But even if you've never done that, watch watch my videos, especially if you need something better to do than drink and you can't sleep anyway, then, and you can, stand hanging out with me, then, watch my videos and look at what I'm doing, and you can learn your way around. It doesn't take too much time. So, so I've got a couple of guitars here. I've got more than two, but these are the two that I mainly use. There's an electric and an acoustic. There's an amplifier. There's a speaker for the amplifier. I don't use those very much. I generally, guitars and other instruments, I generally go through what's called an audio interface. That's this thing right here. The audio interface also has drum loops and effects in it, guitar effects. So this connects to the DAW through the computer by USB. It's a USB connection, and I've got a pedal board, some guitar pedals over here, and a couple other things. Microphones. But to get into this, you really don't need anything except your computer and a pair of headphones. So, and what that looks like is, so let's say that you've stayed with me this far, and you need to get alcohol out of your life, and sleep is a problem, and so you're down with long format, you're down with learning something new, and I'm telling you, this is a very rewarding, it's a rewarding hobby, not only because it gives you something else to do, but it's the kind of mental activity that it has therapeutic effects, because long-term alcohol abuse, it does damage your brain and central nervous system, and it causes other forms of imbalance and damage, and it wreaks havoc, really. But this kind of work, it repairs damage. Okay, so this is where you can start. So you see that I've got two. These are two different mixes of the same song, right? Now the x-axis is time. This is the beginning, and it goes through time to the end. And the y-axis up and down is basically volume, how loud it is, right? So these are waveforms. And the peaks are up, you can see the peaks and the troughs, the loud and the quiet. And you can see that these two waveforms look quite different, because they're the same song, but they sound quite different. They're different mixes. And so, and again, so even if you start with just your computer and Cakewalk and the tools that I recommend, and again, Air Windows Consolidated, just download that and install it, and you're way ahead of the curve, in my opinion. But one thing you can do just to get started is that you can get on YouTube and just pick a song that you like, one of your favorite songs of all time. Maybe something from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. And download the MP3 or the MP4. And even if it's MP4, technically a music video, you can just, let me show you how to do this. I've got two audio tracks open here, but here's what I'll do. I'll start a new project, basic project. All right. And it says opening project. So I got 2 tracks here. One says audio, one says MIDI. Don't worry about MIDI right now if you're just starting out. I just like right click right there and I delete that. I've got an audio track here, and you can add audio tracks. Insert audio track. You see that? And I can maximize, minimize. All right. And when we start adding audio tracks, that's when you get into recording and mixing and all that. But if you're just starting out and you don't have microphones, instruments, any, you just want to roll up your sleeves and get into this process of audio work. Let me see here. Well, I'm just going to Control Z and undo that. I've got an audio track, right? And so just to show you how this is done, so I'm going to open up my downloads folder. I've got some. All right, so here is you see here in my downloads folder, I got a Metallica video that I recently downloaded, and I just take that. As you can see, it's an MP4 file. It's called 72 Seasons by Metallica. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Don't worry about it. This is where the song goes right here. All right? And if you're totally new to this, don't worry about any of this stuff. This is going to become apparent right away. And if you've already been through this whole spiel, you just click forward. I'm almost done. But this is for newcomers. So I just take my MP4 right here. It could be any song, anything you want, and just like drag it into this area right here. And you see the little box with the plus. And just drag it in there, right near the beginning, and drop it. And just doing a sample rate conversion. Don't worry about that yet. You don't have to worry about any of these details yet. Just get it in there. And then there it is. And I'm going to hit this button, Fit Project. Boom. There's the whole thing in one window. Obviously, that's too wide. I can drag it like that. Okay, so I'm not going to play the song back because I don't want a copyright strike. Okay, but it's this thing here that says effects. Okay, you can click that plus, and if you've downloaded Air Windows Consolidated, here's where you can load Air Windows Consolidated, and click that button, and there's all these tools, and each tool comes with a little blurb essay that explains the tool, tells you what it does. And you can begin to see how this is hours of poking around and just loading tools and listening to what they do. And so, like, let's say I load this tool called Energy 2. And you see it's got all these knobs on it. And you read about what it does, and then you twist the knobs and you hit play, and see now this tool is the signal of this song is going through this tool. You can think of it as a tool or a filter or whatever. It processes the sound, and you just twist knobs and listen to what happens to the audio, and see if you can improve on your favorite song. See if you can make it sound better. Give it a new twist. Remaster a classic rock song. And then once you're ready to listen to it, outside of Cakewalk, you go to File and export audio. And for these little things, you can go to YouTube and type in, like, so let's say you want to figure out how to export something from Cakewalk. Go to YouTube, how to export from Cakewalk, and you'll get some little 5 or 7 minute video walk you through it. Anything that any question you might have about Cakewalk, you can find a little short tutorial on YouTube. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to show you the workflow, and you can learn Cakewalk. You can learn audio production by participating in the process, in the workflow. This is kind of the way I prefer to learn. I'm not so good at learning things in little chunks. Okay, so anyway, this is just something, this is a way you can start. And you don't need a microphone, you don't need a guitar, you don't need anything else. All right, so anyways, now, so I'm going to close out of that and not save it. So this is a project called Passing Through, a song I wrote 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm still working on it. So anyway, getting back to, let me see, there, and yeah, so this is really kind of the YouTube algorithm is just not too kind to long format stuff. It's hard to cut through if you're not following the formula and doing the cringy thumbnails, and the algorithm just like sweeps you into a digital dustbin. It doesn't do a very good job of locating alcoholics that want long format content to help them through sleepless nights. And I know they're out there. I know you guys are out there. So anyways, this is a sequel to Balances of Power, Passing Through. So I made an attempt at balancing these two mixes, and then I road tested it in the car. To me, that's a very important test of a mix, to hear how it does in the car while I'm driving down the road, with the engine noise and the road noise and the three main EQ settings in the car stereo system. It's an important part of my workflow. So first, I'm just gonna not gonna play through the whole thing, obviously, but I'm not gonna start from the very beginning. There's a fade in. This is just right before the vocal starts in. The vocal performance is not great, but it is what it is at this point. So I'm going to play back. I'm going to hit the solo button, and that means we're only going to hear track 1, titled Remix. Okay, so I'm going to play the basically like 10 seconds or so of track 1. I hit the solo button. We're only hearing track 1, and then I'll unsolo track 1 and solo track 2, and we'll hear the same snippet from track 2, and you can hear how they're different. Okay.
Don't
More than 10 seconds, probably more like 20, but anyway. On solo, okay? Now, solo track 2, I'm going to play basically the same part of the song, but this track 2 is a different mix. All right, so real quick once again. And all right. Good grief. I didn't mean to get my mug all up in here. There we go. There's my, I forgot to turn on my webcam there. I've been told I should at least try to look my audience in the face. All right. So you can hear how they're different. Track 1, called Remix, is a bit darker, has a bit more oomph, more power. Track 2, called Rebuild, it has more space and more clarity. And I'm just, I like them both. I want the clarity and space of track 2 with some of the oomph of track 1, some of the added power of track 1. And so I'm going to, this is called track view, where I see both of the waveforms of the tracks here. And so you can see if I click on track 1, Remix, look over here, this is a horizontal channel. And then this is vertical channel strip. It says right down here, Remix, right here, Remix, track 1. So if I click on that, this vertical strip and this horizontal strip, the same track. Over here, I've got my volume fader. Volume is set at -7. Okay, our ceiling is 0. Just, if you're totally new to this, don't sweat the details too much right now. Just, 0 is our ceiling. And I've got this volume of track 1 leveled down to -7. If I click on track 2, Rebuild, Now this over here changes to track 2 rebuild. You can see that it's leveled down to minus 3.3. So track 2 is louder than track 1. The track with more space and clarity is louder than the darker and more powerful track. Now master right here. This is where the two tracks are coming together into one track. They're blended in this channel, and at that point they go through these filters and these tools on the way to the output. So this is where, this is where the two tracks are combined into one signal in the master. It's called the master. Okay, and so. Here's how they sound together. And as I play it back, I will use the mute button. So mute, M for mute. Mute means if I click mute on track 2, it means it's the same as clicking solo on track 1. I'm muting track 2 and you only hear track 1. Or I mute track 1 and you only hear track 2. So I'm going to play back. Now, when I start playback, you're hearing both of them together, and you might notice that the volume meter in the master channel is peaking under 0.0, which is important. Okay? So here's both of them combined right now. Okay, so now maybe you can understand why I want to combine these. I think the how's the saying go? The it's more than the sum of its parts. Is that right? I don't know. Anyways. I like them together. Separately, they're incomplete. This is an unusual situation. I'm also doing this with one other song called "Maybe I'm Cursed," which is if you land on my channel, that's supposed to autoplay the video for that song. And normally I just have I decide on one mix and that's it. But in this case, I've got two different mixes, and they need to be combined, but in the right proportions. And so anyway, I did the road test in the car, and I'm going to go ahead and play that for you so you can hear what I'm dealing with. Oh, this is Taj Mahal. Okay, so see, you might get something sounding really good in your headphones or through your speakers at home in your bedroom or living room or whatever, and it might sound really good, but then you listen to it somewhere else and it's not sounding so good anymore, or you just hear problems. It's like anything else. It's something that just you can't. You just got to learn by doing it through experience. There's just a million things. and no number of 10-minute tutorial how-to, videos with clickbaity titles and soy-faced thumbnails is going to deliver. There's no replacement for just rolling up your sleeves and getting into it and putting in the hours and hours and hours and hours. And so here's a road test. I was quite happy with that balance until I got in the car. And so I'm just going to click this and I'll point out what bothered me. So now it's starting from the fade in. So you might hear that rattling. You hear that? Okay, that's a problem. There's just too much power in certain bass frequencies, and it's even though the EQ in the car is it's set. It's in a setting that does emphasize the bass somewhat, but it's not a super bass heavy setting, and so I know that I just need to make some adjustments. It's rattling the car, and I don't want to hear I don't want to hear the car rattling. That's not part of the song. Okay. I was changing an EQ setting. Another EQ setting. In this one, in that one, the rattle wasn't a problem, but you can hear now. You can hear the kind of grinding, rattling. Overall, not a complete failure. The takeaway is that now this is called track view, okay, and now I'm going to go to views, and I'm going to go to something called console view. You can see here track view, console view, and there's also a little button down here right there that says collapse, but it toggles between track view and console view. So in console view, I've got my two tracks side by side right here. Okay. And you see that track 1 is at -7. This is the one with more power. And track 2 is at -3.3. Track 2 has some more space, more clarity. So I need to bring track 1 down a little bit more, and track 2 possibly up a little bit more. So I'm going to take track 2 down to -9. There's a 9.3. That's fine. And actually, we'll take it down to let's take it down -11. And track 2, I'm going to take up to like -1.912. I like odd numbers. All right, so now here's my master channel right here. This is where I'm concerned that I don't want it peaking. You combine these channels, and you don't want it peaking over 0. There are some who they're professional engineers who say that really you don't want it to peak over -3. Yeah, there are different opinions about this. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that. But anyway, for present purposes, I don't want it peaking over 0.0. So I hit, now I've got a new balance, right? And so we're going to hear less of track 1 and more of track 2. Before it was peaking around, I don't know, -0.5, 0.4, 0.3. Okay, just below 0.0. Let's see where it's peaking now. Okay, -0.3. Now I'm going to do something. Oh, yeah. Again, this is sounding, I think this might just do it. So after this, I'm going to do another road test and see if I get rid of that rattling. Another thing I'm going to do is I've got a tool here that it's what's called a chorus effect. It's actually a compressor. This tool is a compressor. If you don't know what compression is or what compressors are, I've explained it in other videos. I can't re-explain everything in every video, but it's something you can look up. Compressor. It's a compressor with effects. And if you don't know what a chorus effect is, CHORUS, you can look that up too. Or you can just hear what it does here. So I'm just going to play the whole mix together, and I'm just going to, when I click this button right here and it goes gray, I'm bypassing this effect, this tool, this plugin. This is not Air Windows, but this is a very useful plugin nonetheless. Chorus just has just listen to what it does, okay? I'm going to solo this on. If you can't hear the difference, it is quite subtle, especially on a whole mix like this. If I was applying it just to like a guitar signal or a vocal signal, you'd hear it a lot more clearly what it does. It's called a modulation effect. And it just makes the signal sound It gives it a waviness, a shimmer that a lot of people associate with water, which is why a lot of chorus effect pedals that you buy, say, for a guitar, a lot of them are colored blue, like water. Anyway, I added it for reasons. I hit some sharp and flat notes in the vocal track, and one thing that chorus can do is it modulates pitch a little bit, and I think I was hoping to kind of like smooth over those wrong notes, but I think it's too much. It's not doing what I wanted to do. So you can hear another. So here I've got, this is the amount of the chorus effect, okay? But now with the chorus all the way down, so you just basically not doing anything. But listen to what it's also a compressor. So I'm just going to turn it on and off and listen to what the compressor part of this is doing. So hit play, and then I'm going to bypass it and then engage it again. Okay, so it gets a little bit louder, but that's not the main thing, okay? You see, I can adjust the output here and make it so that it's not getting louder. As a matter of fact, I think I'll do that right now. Listen, this time when I play it back, listen to the drums. There's kick, snare, kick, snare. I'll sound it out for you. Kick, snare, kick, snare, kick. Now. It's adding some oomph. It's adding some power. So some people are opposed to compression kind of in principle. Ultimately, it is all about taste, personal taste. Really. I mean, certainly some people really overdo compression. They misuse it. And they do horrible things to their audio with it. I like compression used properly with clear intent, mindfully applied for the achievement of clear objectives. Now, the kind of song this is, the kind of project this is, this is a highly processed sound. Again, this was all achieved with just the tools that you saw here in my studio cam. All right. Not even a keyboard. All the instrumentation was this electric guitar right here through these tools on my workbench here. Okay. And some added processing with these software tools. Okay, so this is a sound that this is the type of sound to which a certain amount of compression is clickable. And there's this, if this was a very sort of minimal arrangement with just acoustic guitars, and I just wanted something a lot more naturalistic, then I might use a little bit of compression, but I'd use it in a very different way and be a lot more sparing about it, okay? But this is the type of song it is, type of project that it is. I want it to I want it to have power. I want that kick to have I want it to have a pulse and a power, and I'm going for a certain kind of propulsiveness is the word I like to use. But I don't want to overdo it either. And that's why, hence the rattling in the car. Okay? So I'm kind of looking at this, this compressor plug-in is a potential source of that issue in the car. Listen to it again. Again, track 1 is soloed, and listen what happens when I disengage the compressor. So I've got the chorus part turned all the way down, and there are other settings in this that I could, compress. Here's a wheel of all the different effects down here, okay? And right now I'm just going to, just listen to what the compressor part does one more time. You hear it makes it a little bit louder, but it makes it a little more powerful. Now, if I drag this output down just a little bit, oh, wait a minute. Got to get myself out of the way. Excuse me. All right, so there's the output. Listen to what happens when I drag it down a little bit. Hear that? Okay, so. I'm going to try to get it to where now you hear now I took the output down a little bit, and now you notice that when I engage the plug-in, it doesn't really go up in volume any longer, but you can still notice a little bump up in power, right? One more time. You hear that? A little more power and a little bit more fullness and presence. All right. And you notice now that over here in the master bus, the master channel, I'm peaking at minus 0.6. It's fine. I'm pretty sure this is no longer going to be rattling the car. And the vocal, I hit a few wrong notes, but that's okay. This is not for professional release, and there are some things I'm quite perfectionistic about, and others that I'm not. I'm not opposed to wrong notes per se, or anyway. I'm not going to go back and track the vocals again. There are more important things than having every note pitch perfect. There are other things that go into a satisfying vocal performance. So the chorus is out of the way, but what I want from the compression is there. That compressor, right there. It's there. And so I'm going to... All right. So now here's what I'm going to do. Let me see how far. We're an hour in. And yeah, it's good. I'm going to leave it here for now. And I don't know. I'm going to pause it and think about it. I need to make a pit stop anyway. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah. I think I'm going to push forward a little further with this. Now, over here in the master channel, where the two mixes are coming together into one signal, I've got them going through together in one combined signal. I've got them going through these plugins, these tools. This is a multi-band EQ that I'm using. Just listen to what these do. Now this is called a mastering compressor. I'm not so sure I like what this is doing. You hear the diff? I like what this one is doing. Okay, we don't have to worry about that one right now. That's just keeping it, making sure it stays at 0 or below, just in case there's occasional peak that clips above 0. That's not a problem right now, but this mastering compressor, it's a good one. It's free. It's called Kotelnikov by a company called TDR. TDR makes a handful of very high quality, useful mixing and mastering tools that are free. Sometimes I like this mastering compressor. Sometimes not so much, and I'm not sure about it right with this here. It is adding a little bit of extra power, but it's also taking some of the life out of the losing some dynamic range, and it's just taking some space out of it, I guess. And I'm just not so sure I'm liking it. So I'm going to try a different approach. Now, it was I'm just coming back to this song, this project after, I don't know, a couple of months break from it. And since that time, I really got into the Air Windows suite. And so this is before I really got into Air Windows. And I'm going to turn off this mastering compressor, and for that matter, this is a saturation limiter. This adds sort of an analog color to the sound. I like what it's doing right now, but I'm going to turn it off anyway. And I'm going to leave these going, and I'm going to add, so click the plus, and I'm going to add an Air Windows consolidated. It goes here at the end of the chain, and I'm going to move it up. Okay, right there. And so here's all the different tools in this toolkit here, and I'm going to go under tape, and I'm going to go this tool called 2Tape 7. This tool emulates the sound and the characteristics of an old reel-to-reel tape recording machine. And so I'm just going to hit play, and I'm going to toggle it on and off, and I'm going to do some adjustments, and just, watch what I'm doing and listen to what happens. Taking a little bit higher, not minus 0.3. Okay, so you might notice how it brings more, makes it fuller sound. It just kind of gives it a bit more depth, more, and if anything, I feel like it gives it more power, but it preserves the space, and it's not. So I'm just gonna. Already, I like this much better. I'm just going to right-click on this Kotelnikov mastering compressor. I've already made up my mind. I'm going to take it out of the chain. I'm going to delete it. Okay. And this one right here, if I'm going to use it, it's going to go after this 2Tape 7. But right off the bat, the two controls that I normally start with on 2Tape 7 are tape drive and head bump, and often I don't touch anything else. There are other things you can do with this, but in this case, I'm just going to stick with those two. Tape drive and head bump. And again, this blurb here basically explains what all these controls do. Okay, but once again, I'm going to go to another part of the song so we don't keep listening to the same thing over and over again. All right. Now, you can't choose the ones that want you, but you endure the day. All right. Now I'm going to turn on this one. And it's just, again, this is why I just recommended Air Windows Consolidated right up front. Because even though this is a very fine tool that I'm about to delete, Ferric TDS, I've used it extensively in the past. It's really good. I mean, it's really, really good for helping to add analog color to a digital audio project. But these Air Windows tools are just in another league. And I find more and more that the Air Windows tools just make these other tools as good as they are. And I still do use them sometimes, but it's just, it's not necessary. This 2Tape 7 tool, it just does everything that I want from those other tools, but it does it better, delivers more of what I want, and without anything that I don't want. So I'm going to go with that for now. And again, this is just what's called a Klipper plugin. This is just to keep any stray peaks from going over 0.0, which a lot of people are against, because a lot of Klipper tools they'll do that for you, but at a cost. This Klipper tool is an exception, because again, Air Windows they're not ordinary tools. They're just in a different. This guy Chris that makes these tools, he just has a different way of doing things, and so this is a Klipper that you can use without hurting your sound, as long as you don't way overdo it. But right now I'm not needing it, so I'm just going to leave it off. And then if I start clipping, but it's not too much, I'm just occasionally clipping to like 0.3 or something like that, then I'll turn it on. Again, there are engineers out there that say you shouldn't even be doing this at all. You should be peaking no higher than -3 decibel, -3.0. Yeah, again, I'm still on the fence about that. Because they're like, I loaded a Metallica song earlier in the video, and Metallica is not doing that. You know, they've got it peaking right at 0.0. And so anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. So, okay. Now, I'm just going to play around with a couple of other Air Windows tools. Just I'm not sure that I'm going to need them or find them useful or appropriate to this, but I'm curious. So I'm just going to load them and see what they do and find out. So without further ado, I'm going to load another Aero Windows Consolidator. As you see, you load a new tool, it goes to the end of the chain. Order sequence is important, and it's something you learn as you go. Depends on what tool you're using and you know, what you're trying to achieve with it, where you place it in the sequence. Right now I'm going to go to a tool called, okay. Yeah, I might as well do that. Okay, so this is a major one, actually. So this is something called a console emulator. And I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to go ahead and put these things in, just to let you hear what it does. So we've got console. I like this one called Console LA. A console is, you see interviews with engineers and producers and whatnot. They're sitting in front of the console in the studio. It's a big board with knobs and sliders on it. That's where things are mixed and mastered, and the different consoles have different sound characteristics. And these console emulators emulate classic consoles and just give your mix a little bit different color. And Console LA is supposed to give you kind of a 70s vibe. Okay? So there's channel and bus. Bus goes into the master, is where I'm inserting it here. And it goes at or near the end of the chain. So Console LA bus. What's this now? I'm putting it here, and I'm going to put it before. See, the clipper goes really at the end. And then this is a second harmonic distortion. I like to put this at the end. Never mind that right now. Here's the console emulator, Console LA bus, and in the individual channels over here, I'm going to put Windows Consolidated consoles. I'm going to put Console LA channel. Okay, and there are some controls in this one. I'm not going to touch those right now. So now that's at the end of the chain in track 1. I'm going to do the same thing for track 2. There, Windows Consolidated consoles, channel. All right, so there's Console LA channel at the end of track 2 and at the end of track 1. And near the end of the master bus where they come together. And so the channel plugins, the channel LA, Console LA plugins work in conjunction with the Console LA bus plugin. So I'm just going to hit playback and toggle them on and off. And let's just hear the difference, okay? So first I'm going to toggle the Console LA bus. As you can see, now with this, since I added these console emulator plugins, now we're peaking into the red at positive 0.3. It's not bad. I mean, again, we don't want to go over 0, but as long as it's not too much, this is where I can engage my clipper and it's not going to do that anymore. In fact, it's probably going to peak at minus 0.3. All right. So here's Console LA Bus. Okay, now to me the difference is quite striking. And at first you might say, well, okay, well, it sounds like it's taking something away. It's not as bright, for one thing. It seems to be, clamping down on it in a way, which is right. And well, how can I put this? Oftentimes, and again, this all comes down to personal taste, but this is a digital audio production. My tools are all digital. Once I plug my guitar in, it's all going into digital, the realm of digital. And brightness in digital audio is very tricky. And especially when through it can just have a harshness about it that especially with extended play, it has a fatiguing effect on the ears and the brain. And so it's just something that this console LA emulator, it just reins in some of that brightness. You lose a little bit of detail. Everything is a trade-off. Okay? I mentioned having your cake and eating it too. That's the idea. But, there are little trade-offs that you make along the way. So I'm willing to, there's some of that brightness that I actually want to subdue it. And I want a rounder, more rounded sound with a little bit more analog warmth. And that's what this is about. So I'm going to go ahead and A/B that again, and I'm also going to A/B the Console LA channel plugins. So this is with all Console LA disengaged, and I'm going to re-engage them. And might as well. I want to go to this part of the song. All right. So I've already 90% sure that I'm going to go with this, but I do want to try one other console emulator setting. So again, I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to load it. It's console 0. See, console 0 bus, and here console 0 channel, and console 0 channel. All right, and let's hear what that sounds like. I'm going to turn off the clippers, see where it's peaking. I like that too. Like Console LA, it tames some of that excess digital brightness, but it just lacks a certain warmth that I find in the Console LA setting. So I'm going to go ahead and reload, let's see, Console LA bus there, and Console LA, let's see, Console LA channel. And I'm going to do a little bit of mid boost. Just a little bit. Mid-range boost, Console LA channel. A bit of mid boost. Okay, try it again. You see, since I boosted the mids on the channels, it's peaking now at 0.7 instead of 0.3. You see? And I think it doesn't need it. So I'm pretty happy with the overall sound of this EQ-wise. So click, double click, that resets it to the default 0.5. And do the same here. 0.5. And back to peaking at 0.3. Hit the clipper, and we're peaking at minus 0.2. Right here, this moment, you can hear a little bit of distortion, a little bit of a distorted sound in that chimey guitar sound, which is intentional. But listen to how it's different with Console LA on and off. This is with Console LA off. And then on. Just a bit nicer, smoother. All right, so I'm liking that, and now I'm going to add one more Air Windows Consolidated tool. Again, I just added it. It goes into the end of the chain, and this one is under effects. It's called Energy 2. And look at all these knobs. So what this does, I did a video, look for the one that includes American Indian flutes in the title. I used this tool to to enhance the sound of some American Indian flutes in a mix. It just it works in some ways similar to an EQ, but it's not an EQ. It's different. It's mid-range to treble. Energy redistribution focusing tool. It doesn't work. It works similar to an EQ, but it's not an EQ. It's a different kind of animal. But I'm just going to hit play and tweak a few knobs and see if you can hear what it's doing. Oops, I forgot to move it up the chain. Now we're peaking it at +1. This is after the clipper. Let me see. Now, here's our 2 tape. I'm going to put it before 2 tape. Put it right there. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to reconsider that. I might end up putting it before these, but okay. So anyways, here it is, Energy 2. And then the tape machine emulator. And then console LA bus, then our clipper. I am going to turn off the clipper. Just see where we're peaking without it. 0.6, not too bad. So what's going on here is that these lower mid-range frequencies down here, I have increased the intensity of them, and so it is it's causing it to peak a little bit higher. Okay. But I'm not done yet, so I'm going to leave the clipper off and continue to let it see where it peaks as I continue to tweak. After I'm done tweaking, I'm gonna A/B this tool, Energy 2. So first I tweak and then I A/B, right? Really, I don't want this peaking higher than like 1 or 1.2 in the red. The clipper is fine, but only up to a point. So now maybe that's off, on. Okay, so there's the sung word reckonings. When you can't remember where you've left your reckonings. And during the word reckonings, you can hear a kind of a clicking sound. That's the sound of the guitar pick on a string, and it's very, very deliberate. It's a picking dynamic, something that I want. It's something I want. And listen to it with energy 2 turned off and then turned on. So energy 2 is off. Right there. And on. It's got that much more snap, crackle, presence. Again, off. Right? It's subtle. But the more you do this, the more able you are to hear these subtle differences. And, I mean, look, someone else who's going to hear this, they're never going to know the difference, right? Because they didn't write the song, they didn't record the song, they didn't sit through the hours of mixing and tweaking and just hours and hours and hours. It's this easily over 100 hours have gone into this. I mean, easily. I mean, upwards of like 200 hours have gone into this. I have no way of even guessing, right? And so you might ask yourself, well, geez, does it really even matter? I mean, and then, like, who's going to ever listen to it anyway? Well, eventually I'm going to release it on an album. I'm working on another album. And in this world of Spotify and my microphone cut out there for a second. In this world of Spotify and this world is just absolutely inundated with music, right? New music every day, every second of every day. There's so does it matter? No. Is anybody ever going to listen to this? Probably not. Maybe just a handful of people in the world will ever, I'll put it out there. I might sell a handful of albums. And even those who ever listen to it, they're never going to, this difference that I'm pointing out here. Let me see. Yes. All right. They're never going to know the difference. But that's not the point. In a way, yeah, they'll never consciously hear the difference, but they'll never know. They'll never have a frame of reference. But then again, I'll put it this way. So I'm bringing this up because one way to look at it is that this is like the fascinating part of the process right here. This is one reason why it's great for just getting your mind off of booze and getting your mind on something else, absorbed in something else. the nuances, the details. It's just it's so much better. It's it's so much more rewarding, and it builds your brain circuits rather than tearing them down. It builds your sensitivity rather than destroying it. It develops your focus. So it's just good in and of itself for that. No matter if no one else in the world ever hears it ever. It's just good for you. It's good for me. It's very satisfying and rewarding just in and of itself, even if it just never leaves my bedroom and I'm the only person who ever hears it. Okay? But at the same time, okay, so what I did was I boosted some low mids and some trebles, and I rolled off some high mids. And I'm going to come back and fine tune it in a bit. But right now I like what this is doing. But I'm going to so I'm going to turn my clipper back on, and so that's energy 2 off. Got some of that brightness back. Okay. Console LA rolled off some brightness, but I just got some of it back, but much more focused and selective brightness. Okay. But now, so these little things that you might think, well, what difference does it make? Nobody's ever going to know. But then again, look what happens when I just turn off all these tools at once. This whole, it's called the effects rack. I hit play, and I'm just going to disable the whole thing. Disengage the whole thing, and then turn it back on again, and hear the difference. So I'll disengage it and hit play. So this is without the tools, and then I'll turn them on. In my opinion, it's still kind of a subtle difference. But then again, these are two mixes that were already quite laboriously worked on, okay, and developed. I'm not looking to do anything drastic. Okay, I'm just I just want to make it a little bit more, just powerful and alive and present. And it is somewhat subtle, but it does make a difference. It's just they're little nuances, but they add up. They do make a difference. Okay. All right. So, let me see. There's one more thing here. This is a tool that I haven't. It's called Doubly. It's based on Dolby. Okay. It's another Air Windows thing, and still learning this tool. I just want to see what it does here. So, let's see. Where's doubly? It's under effects, doubly 3. And again, I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to put it after energy 2, doubly 3. And without explaining it, I'm just going to, this is kind of the setting that I've been playing with. Shape down to about 33, tilt up to about 66. Now let's just A-B it. Okay, it's not really bringing anything to the table. So I'm going to take that out. What else? I think that's it for now. So this is, I'm going to hit save. And this is the updated passing through mix. And do another road test. See if the rattling is eliminated. I think it has more clarity now. It still has that power that I wanted. And yeah, just for the heck of it, I'm going to see if I can find that video that I used last time. I found this really cool 4K. Let me see if I can find it.
Some days it just feels like YouTube Studio is the most demoralizing thing on the planet.
Yeah. It's a good channel, actually, this guy. He makes too many excuses for the algorithm, but...
Pressure points feel the work.
Okay. Maybe I'm going to... Hang on, I'm going to pause it and see if I can find this video. Yeah, I feel like writing to this guy that made this film, asking him if I can set this song to it. Yeah, he's going to say no. It already has a soundtrack, and it's in the credits. But man, I wish I could set this song to this video. I did it last time, and I didn't get a copyright strike, so I'm going to do it again. And so, again, I'm just putting this out there for posterity. It's like anything else I do, maybe nobody's ever going to hear it. Maybe nobody's ever going to watch it. But I know that, look, when I went through, when I finally gave up booze, man, and I didn't have, I'm in a country, South Korea, where there is an AA chapter, but just not feasible for me to get there. It's too far away from where I live, and I'm just not an AA type person anyway. I'm not much of a group joiner, and it's not for me. And this audio work gave me something else to do, something else to focus on, and it got me through. among other things. But another thing that helped me during those long, lonely nights was like long format content. And I've noticed it's getting harder to find. I don't know why. Even like, 8-10 years ago, I can just remember there were just like long format podcasts and radio shows on YouTube that I used to listen to. There's not there anymore. Things these days just seem to me geared more toward, I don't know, brevity and shortness, and just attention spans are dwindling, I think. I think it's a trend. But I found during those long, lonely, sleepless nights when all I wanted to do was just, reach for a bottle. It's the easy way out, man. And in this country, it's so cheap. It's just so cheap and readily available, 24/7. Man, I just found that endlessly scrolling through the YouTube feed and just jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, it just wasn't conducive to just calming down and relaxing and finding a different kind of mental space to be in without alcohol. I just found that long format content helped to soothe me, and it helped. I would fall asleep to it, and sometimes not even like. Sometimes there are different levels of sleep. Like some nights I'd be sleeping but listening at the same time to long format stuff that I found, and like dreaming to it, but still getting some sleep. So that's why I do this. It's frustrating, man. It's like I'm like anybody else. I want views. I want to see that some people are watching it, but sometimes we have to just put one foot in front of the other, and instant gratification is not part of the equation here. I thought I would read this. I've got a lot of books. We've got a lot of books, my wife and I. And this is one that I pulled off the shelf recently. What is it called? The World as Laboratory: Experiments with Mice, Mazes, and Men. And I'm just going to read the blurb on the back. And this is very relevant to YouTube and the algorithm. And algorithm is, there's a lot of gaslighting about the algorithm. It's not this neutral thing that's there to facilitate. It's not there to help people. Okay? It's nefarious. This book is about an idea that lived and died, then lived again during the key years of an undertaking often known as the American experiment. The idea was quite simple. If one could quantify and control the internal arena of the personal self, its urges and wants, its worries and fears, then the running of a modern society would require less brute external force. In the long term, putting this idea into practice would make it possible to regulate human beings in tune with the needs, demands, desires, and models of the social order, so that people would want to do whatever they were instructed to do. For example, to die for one cause, shop for another. Lie back in some instances or rise up in others. This was human engineering, an endeavor also known at times as behavioral engineering, social engineering, or environmental engineering. That's what the YouTube algorithm really is. The idea in the 1930s and 1940s was to build a grand system by which people's actions and behaviors, eventually even their thoughts, could be predicted and controlled. To cure society's ills was the goal. That the early, quote-unquote, social scientists ran animals then men through mazes, strapping them to galvanic skin response recorders and quote-unquote punishment grills in the process seemed a small price to pay. With World War II came federal money and new techniques, allowing vast amounts of information to be collected, filed, and fed to computers so that everything from personal preferences to patriotism could be measured, studied, targeted, and changed. This was in the wake of World War II. Just roll that through your head. You know, you think the almighty algorithm is there to help? And with the advent of the Cold War, decades of basically benevolent programs took a sinister turn. I don't think they were ever benevolent in the first place, but anywho. With CIA encouragement and using drugs and psychosurgery, scientists turned to brainwashing, coercive interrogation techniques, and remote control of behavior. This is old stuff, man. This is before I was born. I was born in 1971. Extensively researched, World as Laboratory tells a secret history that's not really a secret anymore, although they're gaslighting the fuck out of us about it. The fruits of human engineering are all around us. Advertising, polls, focus groups, the ubiquitous habit of spin as practiced by everyone from marketers to politicians. What Rebecca Limov, that's the author, cleverly traces for the first time is how the absurd, practical, and dangerous experiments of human engineers in the first half of the 20th century left their laboratories to become our day-to-day reality. Yep. It's all out. It's all documented. It's obvious. But they still tell us that, you know, the algorithm is there for our benefit. No, it's not. The almighty algorithm. I actually had a guy leave a comment on one of my videos the other day. And he just made this comment like, yeah, keep posting content like this. The algorithm might smile upon you. And with a praying hands emoji at the end. Seriously. It's so inhuman and diabolical, really. The algorithm encourages superficiality and inauthenticity. It encourages, it magnifies all the worst in human nature, in my opinion. And that soy face thing in the thumbnails, man, that goes way back into, we get that from chimpanzees and earlier primates. I mean, it's horrifying when you look into it. I'm trying to reach out and make contact with people who have needs that can't be addressed in little sound bites. I'm trying to make a human connection here in my clumsy, fumbling, bumbling, awkward way, but nonetheless authentic way. There are no, it's so, YouTube, produce like a pro. Get the pro sound. Sound like a pro. If you do take an interest in audio production, and then you start to subscribe to some things, and your feed's going to just be full of these videos, and a lot of these pros, they're just so condescending, and they have derision and scorn for hobbyists at home. You want to sound like a professional, don't you? Well, no, I don't want to sound like a professional. I don't want to sound formulaic and boring. Yeah. I want to sound like me. I want to have my own sound. And if you don't like it, and it doesn't conform to your paint by numbers ideas of what sound has to be, your professional standards, eat a bag of dicks. I don't care, man. I'm not interested in your professional sound. I mean, okay. I don't mean to. I mean, I am. Look, some things sound bad. I'm not into sounding bad. It's just that I don't think you don't have to paint by their numbers, and you don't have to. It's just you can find your own way of doing things. It's a process of discovery and creativity, and you can bend the rules and break the rules and find your own. It's like this thing I do here. With this thing right here. I'm the only one. I'd never seen anybody do this thing right here. Anybody who's watching knows what they're looking at. Yeah, this is a dynamic EQ. Look, yeah, that's a DS. That's a DS preset. And yeah, I got it bumped up at 10K with a Q of 0.83, and I've got it attenuated at so it's up this much, it's down this much. Yeah, and I'm running a whole entire mix through that. I have reasons. It's something I found, okay, to address an issue that I had. And and I know that without the almighty algorithm judging my content and deeming it uninteresting, if there were no algorithm, and when I sign up to YouTube and I clearly indicate my interests and my areas of knowledge, and everyone who signs up does the same. And so when I put up a video, I've got more than a dozen categories to choose from. And I can specifically, not just with keywords and tags, but I've got like a lot more categories where I can really pigeonhole my content. This is for alcoholics trying to quit booze, man. And this is long format, man. And this is for someone who wants to learn home audio production, man. That's what this is. And then other people out there can specifically search for that. And then we can connect without this cyber deity in the way. This fucking algorithm. It can be demoralizing. I could let it be demoralizing, but gotta try. Anyways, so I'm going to. Now I want to hear. I want to hear the new mix. I want to hear the new sound from beginning to end. And so I'm going to cue up this video, which the last time it was just such a good match. And enjoy it, and then wrap this one up. Okay, let's see here. Where was it? Right there. There's peace even in the storm. And Vincent van Gogh. Start it right about there. Okay. All right. First, I'll start the audio. That's what I'll do. Drag this down here. All right. And away we go. And wait a minute. I want to turn off my... get myself out of the way again. All right. And blinky blink. Out. All right, here we go. Oh, I want to mute this. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Don't live to
bad. Man. I think I'm going to write this guy. Mike Olbinski. Looks like he does mostly like time-lapse weather videos. Yeah, that's what he's into. Maybe I just send him this song. I think it just goes quite well with this type of visuals. And who knows? He might want to use it as a soundtrack for one of his films. Why not? I think I'm going to write to him when I'm done with this. Anyway, so that's this installment. And okay, so I'll show you how I'm going to export this now. And then I'll road test it again tomorrow. So here's how to export what I've done tonight into a new MP3 that I'm going to then email to myself. So I'll have it on my smartphone when I go down in my car, connect it via Bluetooth and play it through the car stereo system tomorrow. So I'm going to click on, okay, so I click here and wherever I am, okay, it's back to go to start. So I click on number 1, okay, make sure that that's lit up yellow, and then I press the shift key and click on 2. Now they're both lit up, and you see this green line up here. That's the range that it's going to mix down. So it's from beginning to end. All right. And so click, and I just make sure that the whole range is selected. Both tracks are selected. I hit the file, export audio. And now the sample rate, normally these days sample rate is 48,000. 24-bit, that's what I'm usually working with, but this is an older project. And I don't know, this file was at 44.1, still CD quality, but anyway. Passing through Final Master MP3, Final Master 2, that was the last version, and I still want to compare, right? So I'm going to call this one 3, save, and source category entire mix, MP3 stereo. That's really all you need. Export. I want to make sure it's 320 maximum quality, better. And then encode. This is where I just I don't know, track information. Title, passing through, artist, Unity Gain. I'm a one-man act, but that's my band name, Unity Gain. The album is going to be titled The End Will Not Be For Everyone. And I'm shooting for sometime in 2025. Okay. And now you can see up here, mixing down audio. And when it's done, a little window will pop up asking me if I want to open the file in the destination folder, and yes, and then it'll be mixed down to MP3, and I can play it back through whatever I want. So anyways, that's it for now. And let me see what's going to be next. I think Oh yeah, well, I can't do that right now, but yeah, so I'm going to be starting a new series on how to build a song in Cakewalk, in case you're interested in actually learning how to build your own song. And I think I'm going to be doing 2 separate songs as I build them, as I write them, as I'm putting them together. So they're not finished yet. They're works in progress. And I guess I'll wait until this finishes mixing down, and I'll give you a preview of one that I'm working on. I just started it last night. I was, it was last night, right? Yeah. I was watching a live stream of a friend that I made down in Australia. And as I was watching his live stream, I was idly strumming on my guitar, and I found a chord progression that I liked, and it sort of turned into something. So it doesn't have, it has a working title, and I've got some lyrics sort of percolating, but it's still quite vague. But I think I'm going to do start on this series tomorrow. So as you can see, the mix down is getting towards the end here. What can I do? What else am I looking at? Whoops, wait a minute. Always got too many tabs open in my browser. 13 game-changing free plugins. You know, if you get into this, you'll start getting all kinds of. Just so much of it is just noise. You really get lost in it, waste a lot of time, go down a lot of dead ends. I can help you focus, get to the good stuff. I can, my videos go on for quite a while, but if you commit yourself, I'll save you a lot of time and wasted effort. See, open export location. And there it is, passing through Final Master 3. And if I double click that, and here it is. All right. Okay, so close this out. And this new one is, working title is Keeping You Awake. And so far, I've got a drum track, which is a kick, and a kick with some hi-hat. And so I called this one kick. I called this one pulse. It's drums with some guitar, both in one track. This is something I like to do, a little idiosyncrasy of mine. I generally have one track in every song these days that is a combined drum and guitar part. Just something I do. And generally, you like to have parts separated as much as possible. But just a little limitation I like to impose on myself. I just find it makes things more interesting. And then a dedicated guitar part. So here's what it sounds like so far. See over here in the master channel, it's only peaking around minus 8, minus 7.9, 7.7. This is called headroom. The amount between the peak and 0.07, minus 7. Here's what it sounds like with all the plugins turned off. Including in the master channel. This is with everything turned off. It's dry. All right. So I'll start turning things back on. It's quite the difference there, eh? Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Orbit kick. That's interesting. Creature. I thought I had. See, air windows. Okay, that's a galactic reverb. Hear what that does with this kick drum part. It's a big reverb. So one thing I'm working with is Orbit Kick. Yeah, hear what that does. Air Windows Tools. Solo. Hear what that's doing. This This is a cool tool. Acon Digital Multiply. Listen to how that changes it. Hear what that does? It's kind of a stereoizer. Gives it stereo dimension. But one thing I'm kind of surprised. Oh, I know. Hang on. There we go. There's Energy 2, and then this is a real cool one right here. Distance 3. This makes it sound like it's really loud and coming from really far away. Darken the sound and make stuff sound really far away. Man, Air Windows are just, got to get into it. Read the guy's blurbs. Just got to set at 0.7 miles. Let's try half a mile. Okay, yeah. This one right here, Octaver OC-D2. Listen to what that does. Whoa. Isn't that cool? A lot of presets here. This one is called Dual Octave Gated. And I've got it tweaked a little bit over here to do what I want. This went, and then that's what that Acon Digital Multiply is doing. That's a really cool plug-in right there. All these are free. I've never paid for one. Okay. There's a lot of free junk out there, but there's a lot of good stuff too. Just have to, use your good judgment. And then the rest are Air Windows. So that one is called Creature. It's doing something pretty subtle. This one's called Stonefire. There we go. I want it to, I'm going for a texture. I want it to kind of poke in and out. here and there in the lower bass frequencies. So A-B that again. Hear that? Gotta be careful. You don't want to overdo this, but you hear that? You hear that energy? Yeah? This is what this is all about, man. And then this one is Energy 2. You saw that one before. I'll kick that one on. Okay, and then Distance 3, man. So you might think, well, it's just like it's sucking the life out of it a little bit. Yeah, but I'm going to be adding other things. And I want this to be a subtexture, a baseline texture. I want it to be felt more than heard when I add other things. So, but this is all, you know, I may end up not using it or not using it as much. I might take it down to like a quarter of a mile. Like at a concert, you know. Distance is a theme in this song. Distance. So, hence the galactic reverb on the kick. Oh, I got it. That's right. Solo. So. Big difference, right? Hear that delay kick in? That's automated to kick in there. That's what that vertical yellow line is about. That's where that delay kicks in. This delay right here. Tape delay emulator. And there it kicks in. Yeah, so there's a preview of that. I've also got, yeah, all right, well, I'll save that for when I do the building a song video on this. Anyway, all right, well, this officially qualifies as long format now. And that's it. Yeah, save. All right. Time to go check on Chance the bunny rabbit. He probably needs a late night snack. And then probably time to take a nap before I get up and work on some... I'm translating a book of Korean poems by a Buddhist monk. So, need to do some work on that. after a nap, get up. Yeah, even after 6 months, my sleep is still erratic. It's an ongoing challenge, man. It takes a while. It takes a while to recover from decades of alcohol abuse. Man, it's no joke. All right, I am the Alcoholic Audio Engineer. If you found this and enjoyed it, if it helps in any way, please subscribe to the channel. Download, install Cakewalk, download, install Air Windows Consolidated, load up a song that you like, and start playing around with it. Start getting it. The best way to learn it is just to do it. And if you have the mind and the ears for this kind of thing, it'll help, I promise. And my email is in the channel description. If you feel so inclined, send me an email, and I'll answer as soon as I see it. And if you make a comment and I don't answer, it just means I didn't get the notification. I tend to answer comments right away as soon as I see them. Okay? Okay, that's enough for now. And see, is there anything else? Well, Josh, if I don't know. Haven't heard from you. I've sent you emails, and at the risk of sounding like a paranoid nutcase, sometimes communications have a way of getting intercepted. This is kind of something that happens with me sometimes, and I won't go into the reasons for that. But I have sent you emails that have thus far. I haven't gotten any kind of answer, but I did watch your live stream last night, and you said some really nice things about my album, my work, and me as a person. I appreciate that. That was really nice to hear. And so I'm pretty sure that you're not ignoring my attempts at communication. So maybe there's something going on there. But anyway, I'm still here. And make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel, getting the notifications, Josh, because sometimes YouTube has a way of disconnecting people. All right, that's enough for this one. I'll let you know how I'll come back with an update on the next road test, and if there are no further adjustments to be made from that, then I'll probably give this project a rest for another week or so and come back, and if I still like what I'm hearing, I'll wrap it up at that point. Okay. Alcoholic Audio Engineer from lovely, scenic Paju City, South Korea. Over and out. God bless. Take care.